In this video, we will show how to add a new printer to RollMaster. First, to begin, you'll want to head to System Maintenance, and from here, you can navigate to Hardware Maintenance. And from Hardware Maintenance, if you have the appropriate user setup, then you should see the very first option, which is labeled as Printer Setup and Maintenance. Once you get into the printer setup and maintenance screen, this here is exactly where you would add a new printer to your system. And so to add a new printer, you would first want to navigate right down to the bottom left corner, and there's an option to add new. So you can click on that, and then up here at the top, it's then going to open up an area for you to designate this printer with a name. Please keep in mind there are some rules that you can follow in regards to the printer information. For example, it does need to be one single word with no spaces, and you have 14 characters maximum in which to name this printer. And so once you have named the printer, you're going to want to look down right below the printer name is an area where you can designate where this printer is active and in which branch. Now keep in mind that if you were to leave this area blank, that it would actually allow the printer to be recognized in all branches. However, for example, if I only needed this particular printer to be recognized in a specific branch, then I could type the branch ID here. And typically by default, most printers are set up company-wide to be spread across all branches. And again, to do that, you would just leave this box here blank. Now looking below here, you have the option in which to designate the printer type. Typically, most oftentimes, the printers will be labeled as a logo printer. Please keep in mind that with server-side printing, you're always going to want to use a logo printer with the RollMaster system. So for example, if you're printing graphical items such as customer receipts or sales agreements, or anything that would display your company logo, or anything that would be using server-side printing, you're always going to want to set up that printer as a logo type printer. To the right of the logo type, we do have an option for text. However, text printers are seldomly used in relation to logo printers. Text printers usually fall in line with items like printing 1099 forms at the end of the year or printing checks. And then if you did select the text option, then these options down here would then open up and you would be able to designate the specific type of text printer that you are setting up. To the right of here, if you are happening to set up a barcode printer, then you could choose the barcode option. And below the barcode option, again, you're going to see some other choices open up in which to designate as your barcode printer. Please feel free to reach out to RollMaster support, or you can always feel free to access our documentation on our help site if you have any specific questions about setting up a barcode printer or setting up a text printer. But again, as I mentioned, the majority of the time you're going to be setting up new printers as logo printers. Now, one of the last steps that you'll need to follow when setting up a printer is to actually map the printer to the physical printer, which happens to reside in your office or in your showroom or in your sales floor. And to do that, you would click on the Remap button that's located in the bottom kind of center of the screen right down here. So I'll click on Remap. And what this will do is it will take you to a list of printers that are already active and installed and recognized by your specific computer. So all this is going to do is it's going to open up a list of printers that are active on your computer. And so you can go ahead and use the scroll bar to kind of scroll through and select a specific printer in which to map to this new printer in which you're adding. Then you can go ahead and click print. And what this is going to do, as you see now, this actually has input that printer map into the user machine specific info field. So what this has done is it's now told the system that this is where RollMaster wants to look when you are utilizing this particular printer in the system. And once you have done that, you would go ahead and click the Save button. And you'll get a confirmation letting you know that the printer has been added to the system, and you can just go ahead and click OK. Once you've done that, you should see the printer pop up in your list of existing printers, and that will show over here on the right-hand side. Please keep in mind that you can also see a list of all other existing printers in your system. And with that, this will conclude our tutorial on how to add a new printer to RollMaster.